Glenfiddich 12-year-old whiskey, 40% ABV, about $45 US. Can 1.2 million cases be wrong?
What's up, guys?
Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies.
Four guys on a Scotch journey to help you with your next Scotch purchase.
Which could be a bottle that we totally
Forgot about.
should have reviewed 5 years ago.
How long have we been doing this?
Way
Plus
too long.
years, and we haven't done this one?
I still don't believe it. I mean, we've looked.
There are
It is
occasionally
crazy.
bottles that, I mean, I don't know if you guys know this or not, a lot of Scotch out there. And when we started doing this, we were kids in the candy store. And there was also a lot of bottles that we bought before we started the channel that we had tried. And then 3 years later, somebody's like, hey, you haven't reviewed that bottle. What the heck?
But we knew we'd had it.
Right. And so I think that there was a lot of those bottles, and this one included, that we were just like, yeah, we've done that one. Of course we've done Glenfiddich 12. Apparently not. So
How could we have missed it? That's nuts.
here's our makeup review.
All
We're
right.
very sorry,
Glenfiddich, we're sorry.
Tell us a little bit about Glenfiddich, Andrew.
So one of the beauties of Glenfiddich is they are one of the only independently owned distillers left. Privately owned companies.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
Glen Grant. They have Glenfiddich and they do Grant's whiskey and they do other things, but they are the largest single malt brand in the world. 1.2 million cases of Glenfiddich comes out.
And we haven't done this one yet.
1.2 million cases. So that's 9 liters of alcohol per
Times
case.
1.2 million.
Yes.
So
That's a lot.
That's a lot of whiskey.
Quite a lot.
So it's big. And the interesting thing about it is because I think it's been a private company so long, it has some things that are kind of cool about it. You know, they were one of 6 distilleries during Prohibition that didn't close, that they actually kept producing.
Really?
And they actually increased their filling of casks during that time because they knew,
breaking the law.
well, no.
breaking the law.
Well, in
This one
Scotland, it
selling
was
is-
fine.
Yeah.
Well,
But they knew Prohibition was going to end, and when it does,
They're going to be there.
We're
So they
gonna
had
make
chips and they
bank.
went, we're going all in.
exactly, we're going to make the bank, baby. And so they did.
Well, I mean,
it was
they-
good business.
We have done a Glenfiddich for Dummies, and it's coming out very soon. And I'll tell you, there's a reason for them because they've been around forever. There's
Yep.
like a ton of bottles, and you
Yeah,
see it at every liquor store.
And
Every
we have reviewed several Glenfiddichs. I
Yep.
mean, we've loved the 15 Solera, the 18.
and we've had several bottles of the 12. We just didn't realize we'd never reviewed it before.
40% ABV.
It is.
No crazy special maturation or finish or anything. This is just American oak,
Yeah.
right?
I think it's Oloroso.
I didn't
Well, it's
see
a
it.
little
After being
bit- it's-
matured in Oloroso casks.
Oh, okay.
And bourbon casks for 12 years.
Okay,
Yeah,
so both.
They've got a
And then
combination
they
of barrels.
they
Right.
married in their oak tons.
They're oak tons.
Yeah.
How big were those?
2,000 liter oak tons.
Huge.
It's a big barrel.
So they
It's a
take
tin.
and apparently one bit of information I was saying, apparently their tons are made of Portuguese oak, and they like had to cut down a forest to make enough because you're putting out 1.2 million cases a year.
You need a lot of wood.
Yeah, you need lots of wood because I don't know how long it marries in that ton either. That's what I couldn't find.
Boys, I think we're pushing around $45, I think. $40.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You can find this everywhere.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
is one that's easily accessible.
I mean, it's probably on every bar, hotel bar too, right?
Just
I
about.
mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Doesn't say anything about non-chill filtration or natural
Well,
color. Gotta assume that it's chill
at
filter.
40%.
Yeah.
Exactly, absolutely.
It probably does have some.
It's got a nice, sweet, malty
it
nose.
does.
Like,
It's like apples and
A little
pears.
sugar cookie action too.
very light, but it's got stuff going on in there. There's some floral.
Oh man,
Oh man, definitely apple.
almost a snickerdoodle.
Yeah, I was gonna say it smells like fresh baked cookies or something. It's like that sweet,
Yeah.
but it's
absolutely.
fruity too,
Yeah, that's what I'm getting, like apples and stuff.
like an apple turnover or something. Little
Yeah.
sugar.
Yep,
Apple sugar
a
cookie.
little breadiness or
Yeah.
of the crust there, puff pastry,
And then light in the nose too, as far as alcohol for 40 ABV. You can assume that.
like
It's-
caramel
you
and
can get in there.
I'm getting the apples. I'm getting that apple turnover again on the palate as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's got that nice fruity quality about it. Nice little bit of spice on the finish.
That's very pleasant. That's very light,
Subtle,
very
spicy finish.
It is. It's not like cinnamon and ginger kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
I'm
But it's
not
nice.
I'm not getting any like off new make flavors. I'm not getting any like grassiness or
Nope.
any of that going in there.
No,
It's really sweet.
Son of a gun.
And it's subtle finish after the spiciness wears off. You get a little bit of that nice wood finish going on too.
It's a little bit more coating on my palate than I thought it was going to be because it smells fairly light. I expected it to be light on the palate. I think it's a little heavier on the palate than I expected. Viscous, a little more oily.
It is very, very fairly one-dimensional with respect to the nose and the palate are pretty much.
What you smell is what you get.
I would say that, yeah.
Tell you what,
One-dimensional isn't right.
I took a little bit bigger mouthful because
Oh,
some of
because
these,
you can, that's right.
because some of these lower ABVs, it helps to like kind of get a little bit in there, kind of swish it around a little bit, kind of brings out a little bit more. That spice is definitely there, but it's nice. I mean, it's not. It kind of takes you all the way up to like almost being a little bit too much, and then it eases back down, and it's good.
It is a little bit hot when you do that. I mean, for 40% ABV, I wouldn't expect that much kind of burn.
It's got a little bit of spice. I think this would make an excellent cocktail.
You'd have to be. I think you'd have to be subtle with your mixer. So like a Scotch and soda for sure.
Yep.
You know, even on the rocks would be probably good with this.
If you're putting a little bit of like simple syrup in there, and
Yep.
things like that, maybe some fruit, I think it would pair up very nicely.
And this is pretty good.
So
I like that little spice.
I'm not getting any difference on the nose with water.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think
It
it's gonna
seems to
take a
be.
whole lot.
It's a hint of bitterness now on the finish.
Oh really? Mm-hmm. That's an oakiness coming through.
It is.
Yeah. But for 40 ABV though, I mean it's
See, I
So
think
I would
that-
have to say I don't
Pretty
get a
flavorful.
lot of wood influence here. Or maybe that.
put a little water on it. That's what I smell
Yeah.
now.
Oh really?
I think the spicy notes is where you're getting the Portuguese oak.
Oh, that could be.
I've got a little bit of a Werther's Original now, just a slightliness caramel on the nose. Sugar has died off.
Well,
Not on the palate.
nope. It's exceedingly sweet on the palate.
Still there though.
I get that.
I would almost need something to contrast. So that would be that's what would worry me is mixing it. It's already really sweet for me.
To me, it was kind of sweet up on the very front end, but that dialed back down. Actually, I don't think the water hurt it too much, and it brought the spicy notes on the end down a
That
little
is
bit,
correct.
so it wasn't quite so overwhelming.
I don't need a change of flavor much at all.
It's exactly right. The spices, it's still there.
Yep.
But it's tamer. But now I've got chocolate that I didn't have before with the water.
Really? I didn't get any of that. What I did get, I'm pleasantly surprised with. I will say, this is not, going to be some complex mind blower.
No.
You're not going to find anything wild and crazy out of it. But I think what it does have, it's got a good balance of it.
Yep. You ready?
I am.
go ahead.
So the nose, the initial nose was really pleasant. It was a surprise to me. A little sweeter than I anticipated it to be. A little spicy, little hint of maybe cinnamon or some kind of spice. There was still some fruit in there though as well. On the palate, it was viscous. It filled my mouth a little bit more than I thought it would, being the nose was a little lighter. But it had a spicy note on the end, right? You're like, where did that come from? It's not like it was crazy. This is a 40% ABV. So I put the water on. The water brought out a little bit more wood on the nose. Definitely a little bit more sweet vanilla, tapioca type. On the palate, I think it was really successful in taming the spicy end note and marrying it all together. It was a little sweet, but honestly, I'm pleasantly surprised for what it is. It's not this crazy complex. You're gonna wait for an hour and work on this thing. It is what it is. It wears it on its sleeve, but I think it wears it really well for a very entry-level core range single malt. I'm pleasantly surprised. Would you say the price point was $45 again for a 12-year-old? I'm going to give it a 2.5, and I mean honestly, I might sit here and think about it by the time it goes back around and change that. I don't find anything off-putting in this at all. I think it's really enjoyable. I'm not going to try to judge it against all the other scotches I've had because this isn't some complex beast, but I think it's a solid, foundational, good scotch.
Question for you: when you say spicy, are you talking about like an alcohol burn, or
No.
are you getting clove and
No.
those kind of things?
Yeah, like it's coming from the wood. It's coming
Okay,
from
okay.
the wood.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just want to verify because I don't get a lot of that spiciness. I do get a little I get a little alcohol burn on the finish.
No, I didn't
And
get
so
any
that,
alcohol.
that was so. This I would agree with you, and I'm not going to go over what you talked about. It is a sweet concoction. It is very approachable and acceptable to do neat. You don't need to mix it. This is not doesn't need to be a mixer whiskey. It can be because it's not overpriced, but it can easily be a neat whiskey or mixer or with ice or with water or whatever you want to do with it. So I like that. I don't get any off flavors in this. It is like all sweetness and warmth. I'm going to go 2.5 as well. It's not bold and rich that I typically like, but it's really well done. It's an everyday drinker. You can put it on your bar, share it with anyone. You wouldn't be ashamed, but you won't blow anybody out with it. That's why it's a 2.5.
Yes and yes, absolutely. It's an everyday drinker. I guess I'm looking at this one from an angle of would I reach for it and pour it, at any given night? I'm like, yeah, I would. It wouldn't be like my first go-to, but it's definitely something that I appreciate. I think, to me, though, that I'm getting a little bit more bitter than I had when I first started drinking it, and then it's kind of thrown me off a little bit. But other than that, it balances pretty well. For $45, you get a pretty tasteful dram out of this. I mean, so I'm definitely pleasantly surprised for it. I'm gonna go an average 2 though. I think that I've had some 40s that give me a little bit more flavor than this is giving out, but this is pretty doable for $45. So two for me.
All right. I mean, yes to everybody. I guess the thing that I was most impressed by with this bottle was that a lot of times, I mean, this is their entry level single malt, 12-year-old, no crazy finishes, no, I mean, this is their basic brand. And this is going to be the bottle that they sell the most of, so it's kind of the thing that they're putting their best foot forward on to introduce their lineup and try and get you into maybe a little more expensive bottle. And I think they do it really well. I mean, I've had bottles from other brands, and I can think of several right off the top of my head that if that was the only bottle that I ever had from that brand, I might not go back. But I can see why people buy this bottle and never buy a different bottle. Right? I mean, this is a good everyday.
Those people.
Like if you were just, gonna have a bottle of Scotch, this one would not be unacceptable.
That's right.
I mean, it's got nice fruit, it's got nice sweet notes. It's good on the back end with the spice. It would be good with water or ice. You can mix it with stuff. It's pretty versatile. I'm gonna give it a 2.5. I think it's an above average bottle, especially for the price.
1.2 million cases can't be wrong.
You wouldn't think so.
Right, it's not an accident, man.
No, it's not.
I would say that's a crowdsourced determination. So we got 3 2.5s and a 2.
Yeah,
Andrew, what is that?
2.375.
There you
something
go.
like that.
Very good.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Or on Thursday night live.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
Coin 63. Or no, coin
Point
83.
83.
83.
83.
Get this coin
You
right
don't
now.
need the bunker commander.
There you go.
Glenfiddich 12.
Launch it on.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Launch it.